The one main piece of advice I would give your at-home workouts to now, so on her Facebook and Instagram live posts, the audio is going to sound just as good. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to go through how to film at-home workouts, which seems very relevant at the moment as everyone is in lockdown, but it's also a great opportunity to practice and create something that maybe you're looking to continue once we're all free and once we can all roam, because I think at-home workouts are going to stay quite a big thing. So definitely something worth investing in and looking into if you are a PT or yoga teacher, or if you teach anything of that matter. So let's get into it. I'm going to try and take you through 3 different levels, so like a entry, medium and high end. So they'll basically be covered by phone, point and shoot, and like a bigger DSLR mirrorless camera. We're not going to get into any like cinema cameras or anything like that today. And also talk you through some of the audio options. Audio is just as important, or if not more important than picture quality, because people need to hear your instructions and they need to understand what you're saying to just have a nice experience going through your yoga class or fitness class. I'm going to try and give some of the most affordable options, and then up to some of the more expensive options that I use or have used with different companies and brands, as well as all the videos that we film for Helen's YouTube channel there for her yoga flows. So let's have a look at our first option, which is super simple. iPhone or smartphone. Most people, most households have those. So first thing you want to do when you have your phone is find some way of stabilizing it or getting it on a tripod or something. So this is a little Manfrotto thing. You've probably seen loads of vloggers and stuff use that. And then you've got the little attachment here which holds the phone. And the easiest way, probably most obvious way to film fitness videos, just get your iPhone on a tripod. You know, there's loads of different ways that you can do it. If you don't have a tripod, I've seen Helen sandwich it in mugs before and try and film flows like that. So that is an option. The one big disadvantage with that is audio. So basically with audio, the further away the camera is, the harder it's going to be for people to hear you. Sounds really obvious. So with the iPhone, especially if you're not using any lens attachments, you're going to have the phone quite far away, so the audio is going to fall off quite sharply. So that's one of the big disadvantages there. But we will get into some great audio options for the iPhone later. The second option would be something like a point and shoot, which is what I'm shooting on here. It's the Canon G7X. It is the vlogger's choice of camera. You've probably seen loads of people using these, especially the G7X. This is the Mark 1, this is the early one. So these range from, I think, a few £100 up to the Mark 3, I think, which they have out now, which is a little bit more expensive. The big advantage with the Mark 3 is it has an audio input and then opens up loads of audio options for you, and I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get round to that. So that would be your second option. That would be what I would call your medium option, your mid-range camera. You get a DSLR style picture. You can see the depth of field that I'm getting here is really nice. Everything in the background's blurred out. It just makes for a nice picture. You've got all your different options and you can control the camera in a lot of ways that you can't control the iPhone. And then thirdly, if we move it through to the living room here, thirdly it would be this option, the DSLR. Now this is what I film on with Helen. This is the Canon 5D Mark IV. If you want to get a bit technical with it, it can film 4K, but it's cropped, and then it can film 1080p, which is still obviously really good. You can film at a bunch of different frame rates, but there are a ton of different DSLR and mirrorless options out there. Anything from the 5D, which is one of the far more expensive options, the 90D, which I think Canon have released recently for around £1,000, which is also a fantastic option, and it has a flippy out screen, which is perfect for if you're filming by yourself. There's loads of different options there, but that basically covers your 3 options. You've got iPhone, which is your entry level, I guess, or smartphone. You've got your point and shoots phone, which are also fantastic. This Canon G7X is from the Canon PowerShot range, which is their range of point and shoot cameras. Or you have something big like a DSLR, where you've got loads of different lens options and a ton of different audio options as well. which would really elevate your fitness videos. So let's get into something here. Most of you watching this, I'm going to imagine that you don't have any type of camera. All you have is your smartphone. So what is the best way of making a great at-home workout video with just your phone? If people ask me what's the best investment they should make if they're filming their own at-home workouts, it would be audio. Now, how do you pair great audio with your iPhone? It's something that I have battled with and queried for such a long time. There are a bunch of different options, iPhones, smartphones, as far as like little plug-in microphones go. You can just plug it into your like audio port or your lightning port or whatever port it is that your phone takes. There's some great brands out there like Rode who make a bunch of different attachments for phones to help you get great audio. But like I mentioned earlier, that's all attached to the phone, and when your phone is far away, that audio is really going to drop off. So one thing that I've always wondered is, how do you get something high-end like a radio mic, a lapel mic? You've probably seen these on the news or something, or on TV, when someone has a little microphone attached here, and really the microphone is only a couple of inches, or actually right beside where the volume of your voice is coming from, which gives you the best audio possible. Basically, what I use with Helen when we're filming, and what I use with any interviews or anything like that if I'm filming audio, is I use these. This is the Sennheiser EW100, the G2. I've had these for a long time, ever since I got into using cameras and recording audio and stuff for different things. When I was at uni, my first paid gigs were instructional and educational videos. So that would be stuff like filming a nurse putting a wheelchair together and then making an edit from that and distributing that out to, say, remote working nurses on the Outer Hebrides of Scotland and stuff like that. So dry, but definitely got an education on how to mic people up and how to get good audio. How to get that onto a phone. I have always wondered that, and it turns out there are quite a few options out there that are almost specifically made for your phone. The first obvious one would be this little one from Rode. Let me get this out here. So I think this is like the Rode mic, the Rode Lapel Go mic. I can't remember the exact name. I'll pop it up on the screen here. And this just plugs straight into your phone. Obviously, if you've got an iPhone, you need to use that little adapter dongle thing, which is frustrating. Obviously, the disadvantage with that is the cable needs to go straight to your phone, so you need to have your phone in your pocket, or you need to be attached through some cable, which is almost impossible when filming fitness videos to do that. However, if through some miracle you have these, but you don't have a camera, or someone in your household has this, there is this great little attachment, which is this Boya cable. This plugs into your radio mic and will run straight into your phone, because in the past there's been a compatibility issue with whatever signal this puts out and puts it into your phone, and your phone doesn't understand it. So even if you could run the cable straight in through your typical lightning adapter, you would just be greeted with silence. But that cable does all the magic things, and now when I'm filming with Helen, say for example on a Facebook Live or Instagram Live, we've got this audio option now. So on her Facebook and Instagram Live posts, the audio is going to sound just as good as if we were filming it for her YouTube on the big camera. And audio is massively important because it allows you to deliver all your cues to the audience clearly, and they might be in, like, say, a downward dog if you're doing yoga. They're not looking at the screen, but they're listening out for what the instructor is saying. So that's what makes audio so crucial. So that's all great, me talking about this Boya cable, but you probably don't have lapel mics if you're just filming on your phone. But it turns out there are almost specifically made versions of these radio mics that are made for people who are filming on their phone or doing things like conferences at work. Something that I would have never known about or never even thought about, but the option is there and you can adapt and use that to filming your fitness videos. You can plug that into your phone, have your phone on the stand, something like the little tripod that I showed earlier, pop it up on your cupboard or something, or some sort of shelf or unit, have it far away, get on your yoga mat, still deliver crispy audio straight in one file, and all is well. So that would be my recommendation if you're filming on your phone. I have dug out some options and I have left links below. So if you're looking to amplify your workouts, check out links below. check out the audio options. If you've got any questions, definitely let me know in the links below. But let's move on to some other options. Okay, so if you're doing something like HIIT, you're not doing yoga, and you've got your radio mics now, as well as using the lapel mic, you can use this headset. Let me try and... Nope, I got it. I'm getting there. If you've ever been to a fitness class or something, you'll have seen the instructor in that wearing these. This looks quite cumbersome and large, this one. Sennheiser, whatever this is. It's great, and it would be fine if you're doing like HIIT workouts or that, but if you're doing yoga and lying on the back of your head, it can be a little bit uncomfortable. There are far more discreet options of these, and they start quite cheap as well, anything from like £30 anywhere up to hundreds of pounds. Obviously you get what you pay for, as with everything in life. So those headsets would be an option. The great thing about those, having the microphone here, the distance that the microphone is from your mouth is going to be constant, so therefore the quality of the audio is going to be constant, and because it's so close to your mouth, it's going to be really good. If you're doing HIIT workouts, if you're investing in radio mics, check out those headsets as well, because they're well worth the investment. One final thing, you've got your iPhone, you've decided to invest in some radio mics. So one radio mic plugs straight into your iPhone, and the other, well, this one plugs straight into your iPhone, and the other goes in someone's pocket, or tuck them into their leggings or your shorts or whatever. Sometimes that can be bouncing around when you're doing a workout, and you don't want that. They do come with clips, but I've seen them fall off. This is a great little addition by a brand called Ursa straps. So they have loads of different options. This is probably the best one that I have used for fitness stuff. It just wraps around, Velcro, and it can go underneath your t-shirt, or like we do with Helen, it goes underneath her leggings. If you've got high-waisted leggings, it tucks under there, and then you can wire yourself up around the back through a sports bra, and then either with the headset or clip it onto a sports bra. One little thing if you're using a lapel mic is try and use snug fitting clothing. I know this might not be comfortable for everyone, or find a piece of clothing where the lapel mic can be snug against you without any interference of clothing rubbing against it. I've tried it with loose t-shirts before, and when the mic's moving around, you get a lot of rustling and you get a lot of interference, and it's not great. So it's not just because everyone wants to see you in tight clothing, it's actually because the audio sounds good as well. So that just tucks into there, and it's even got a little pouch for the loose cable to sit in there, and that just goes round, like I said before. So remember to tuck it onto your side, not your back, because you'll get halfway through your workout and you go and lie on it, and not only could it interfere with the audio, but it would be quite uncomfortable. So whilst we're here, let me stick this radio mic on Hel, and she's going to demonstrate some yoga stuff for us, and we will see the difference between having the lapel mic on and not having the lapel mic on. So I'm going to grab my phone and give you guys an example. So, just hide the nipple there. So we've hooked Helen up with the lapel mic. It's cold in here, and it just tucks into the back, and you can see the pack is just in there. And I just usually feed it around the back of a sports bra just to keep it nice and snug, and then I'll use like the elastic of whatever the athlete or trainer is wearing. I do also sometimes use these little sticky things. These are soft strips by the same company, Ursa. It's just basically sellotape that is comfortable, so you can stick that straight on the talent's skin. It won't irritate them, it won't stick to their clothing or anything like that, and it just gives you the option of tidying all your cables up. So a neat little trick, and for a few quid you can pick up some of those strips. They're brilliant, and I'll link them below if that's something you're interested in as well. So this is the Sennheiser, and it's normally hooked up to the big DSLR, but we've got it in here today, going straight into the iPhone, giving us lovely audio. So I'll give you a quick example of how it sounds as if you were filming normally on your iPhone with no external microphone, and then I will give you an example of it with this lapel mic, with this radio mic on. So this is without the microphone.
Inhale, reach the hands up, look to the thumbs, and as you exhale, forward fold.
And this is with the microphone.
Inhale, point the toes, lift the chest. And as you exhale, roll it back, downward facing dog. Nice. Inhale, bend the knees, looking forwards. And as you exhale, step or maybe hop to the top. jump to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. And as you exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. And as you exhale, fold yourself in half. Inhale, press into the feet, reach for the sky. And as you exhale, hands back to heart center.
As you can see on the phone, the picture quality is great, but it's often the audio that lets it down. A couple of tips that Hel often talks about, creeping into the background there. You can join me. A couple of the tips that Helen often talks about is learning to just teach with the microphone. So although from my perspective it's more a technical side of things, like how to get the great audio for your camera, as well as that, if you're teaching, one of the things you have to consider is how you cue an audience, like through video, and also just being aware of how the microphone is going to react with your surroundings with you. So like one of the things you say, Hel, is like if you're in a downward dog, not a downward dog, a child's pose.
Child's pose. So if you're in a child's pose, your head would be down, but I try and like angle my mouth towards the microphone, because obviously you're not going to hear me as well otherwise. And certain poses, my alignment for yoga isn't correct, but it's because I'm thinking about where the microphone is, not necessarily about the alignment so much. So it depends what you kind of want to maybe sacrifice, but I think the audio is more important.
Yeah, especially if someone is in front of a screen doing the movement, they might not always be able to look at the screen, but they'll always be able to hear your voice.
Definitely. In downward dog, people are looking the complete opposite of the screen, so it doesn't really matter like what it looks like so much, as long as you're giving like clear cues that are kind of obvious, or hopefully obvious to people.
Yeah, and if you're teaching yoga, like certain moves, like if you're going through like a chaturanga where normally your chest might touch the ground, where the microphone is normally positioned on you, especially if you're not using a headset, you've got to watch that you're not brushing that, because especially if you're delivering
shoulder stuff, like crossing it over. I do this sometimes, I'm like, oh shit, no. So I make it look like I'm doing that, but actually I'm not getting the full stretch, because I'm thinking about this.
Because often if you're delivering cues and there's interference with the microphone at the same time, that audio is unsalvageable. If you're not delivering any cues and there's a brush, then sure, you can lower the volume or mute that split second. But if it just so happens where you're delivering a cue, I don't know, maybe it's just me from a camera person point of view, audio distortion or interruptions really like grabs my attention. If I'm listening to someone and suddenly you're like, I'm like, oh, especially in yoga, like it's going to take you out of the moment.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I would say the only way to do it as an instructor is just practice, practice, practice. So like the first time you do it, it's not going to be the most perfect class you ever taught with a microphone.
Yeah.
I used to hate teaching with a microphone. Hate it, because I didn't know like what level I'm supposed to talk at. Like, am I supposed to be shouting still? Can I speak quite softly? But you'll get to know like what level you can teach at, where your head is supposed to be. It'll be like second nature. So just practice.
So there we have it, tips from the pro. Oh, Helen's channel is HMF Yoga, by the way. She uploads a yoga flow every day, as well as vlogs, so check that out.
Thanks, Steve.
I film them, by the way. I think that just about covers everything, to be honest. There is one option of using AirPods or wireless headphones. I'm not convinced by these. We've tried these a few times, and especially with live videos, for some reason it always seems to come across quite muffled. And it sounds like someone is on the phone basically, so you get much crispier, nicer audio from your lapel mics. I'm pretty sure that covers everything, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has really helped. The one takeaway, the one main piece of advice I would give is, if you're looking to improve your at-home workouts on a budget or for as cheap as possible, it might be something new, you're not ready or available to invest thousands of pounds in fancy kit, Audio is key. Your picture can look like crap, but if your audio is great, it makes such a big difference. Yeah, for that reason, my main recommendation would be some radio mics. Get the mic as close to you as possible, and it will make a huge difference. Okay, thanks everyone. Thanks for watching. If you've got any questions about stuff I have or haven't talked about, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll get back to you instantly, because I'm like that. Alright, thank you. Bye bye. Good luck.